And welcome back. It is the WXCO Morning Report on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. The time is 7:22. It is Thursday morning, the 7th day of August of 2025. And every other Thursday, we are very happy to welcome into studio Nancy Stencil, the chairperson of the Marathon County Democratic Party. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning. We're going to change the world today, right?
Oh, we already did in the last 10 minutes.
Did, yes.
But there is really a lot going on.
Too much.
And I wanted to start because we are hearing already a lot about the gubernatorial race for next year, because obviously right now there's an open primary in both the Republican and Democratic sides. Well, at least it's open until Ron Johnson puts his finger on it, but that's a whole different discussion.
Right. That's a whole different story,
But there is also another state Supreme Court race. And
yes.
And the thing is, there was all this work finally to get over that line where there's a progressive majority and start to do some, I think, things for the people in some of these court cases. But there's another one, and there's a chance to further.
There's going to be another one every 2 years
right.
for a while,
or every year.
Yeah,
I mean, not just every 2 years, every year. It's for most years. It's really an unusual system, but it is what it is. But we have one candidate. That's I think only
Chris
one.
Taylor.
Is there anybody else?
So far, there's
just
Chris Taylor.
Chris Taylor's the only official announced candidate.
And she was here in town the other day.
I wanted to ask you, because you did bring her to Wausau. She spoke at the Democratic Party headquarters. What did she talk about? What was the response? What is the feel about Chris Taylor within your membership?
People were really excited to see her. She brings with her a good message of the progressive values. And of course, we have Ann Walsh Bradley, who has just recently retired, very well-deserved retirement. And, we packed the room as usual. There's a lot of enthusiasm for her. She's already campaigning throughout the state. So, I mean, it wasn't just Wausau.
Right.
She's showing up in even smaller areas like Adams. She's going to be there yesterday or today. And people have, a lot of questions. They come with excitement because of how big we won that race this last time. I should say we, because it is a nonpartisan race, but the people won the last time, and making it very clear what they want in their courts.
I wanted to ask you as well, because again, I'm curious, and one thing that we have to focus on is what the people are saying. And I know that you and the party were at the fair last week and talking to a lot of people.
A lot of good conversations.
What were the conversations? And not just from the hard base of the party. I imagine you had a chance to talk to others as well.
We talked to everybody, and we have a lot of really cool games and stuff to lure them in. And maybe you got one of our nail files that said, not as abrasive as Tom Tiffany. But it's people are worried. They're concerned how they're going to raise their families. Just the uncertain economic times is probably the largest piece of it. They don't know what's going to happen. They feel like our government is extremely unsteady. And that seems to be the biggest thing.
Yeah, there is a lot of, I think there's nervousness even on folks on the right, because there's there
uncertainty.
Uncertainty is a word that I've mentioned to you that we're hearing about, and it's not good for anybody. And yet we have an administration that flails all the time.
Yeah. I mean, they're not listening. And I think that's another thing. People just feel they're not being listened to because, we've talked to them and we said, please, get involved. Whatever involvement looks like, talk to your neighbors. There's the 5 Calls app. You use that. I mean, they even script it for you to help you, whatever call off time when you could just talk to an answering machine, whatever. For the most part, we had good conversations. There wasn't like a lot of what we've noticed in the past where, people come by and heckle you or whatever. Right. There was, I would say, actually none of that. I did have one guy that came and he said, he was talking about the air quality. And I said, yeah, I thought we were going to talk about the air quality. And he goes, well, he said, that's intentional, don't you?
That makes it so difficult. I
I
mean,
asked him to tell me more, and he couldn't.
but that's not just that issue. That's part of the election denials and everything else,
Yeah.
where you're trying to fight against these conspiracy theories, and and frankly, it'd be almost as easy to go the other way, especially with elections, because I think there's a lot to be concerned about. Where they use the idea that somehow 2020 was stolen. I don't trust a lot of the folks on the right, but you don't go around screaming that it was all conspiracy theory. But
no,
but
you have some facts to back up what you're gonna.
But real fast, I'm curious about the fact that you did find maybe a little different than maybe even last summer.
Yeah.
Because last summer, of course, was the election year, and they were
There was hype.
they were
excited,
confident, and they
yeah.
I got a sense that there's even some Republicans out there right now that can't be proud of
we
what
actually
is going
had
on.
a lot of people that stopped by, and it's humbling. They'll come in and they'll say, well, I really wanted to see change, and I thought he could bring it, and I voted for him, but I'm really sorry I did, and now look, and they feel like this responsibility of their actions, which
there is,
but
I should be nicer, but there is.
No, you could point a finger and say, man, look what you did, but no,
we all
hear
have
them
a responsibility.
And we can't change what happened. Let's just bring it forward. And
there's a difference between change and chaos.
Yes, there is. And we're in chaos, terrible chaos.
And real fast, I thought him wandering on the roof of the White House the other day is such a microcosm of what his administration is, because he's a figurehead. Stephen Miller's running this government. He's off there wandering the roof of the White House talking about a $200 million ballroom.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have more with Nancy coming up in our next segment at 7:52. But back to Pat Kreitlow coming up next here on 98.9 WXCO.